life is a movie and you are the star of yours.
Damn भी कहा गया है कि the purpose of your life is to find the purpose of your life.
Happy marriages to marry a person who's already happy.
पैसा हमको होगा तो आज का जमानी साहब इंडिया सबसे हैप्पी इंसान हो.
आपको इसको सुबह से शाम तक इसलिए ब्लॉक कर रहा है क्योंकि इस पता है कि अगर मैं यहाँ से जाऊँगा तो कहाँ जाऊँगा.
My favorite start Kalkan says कि if the things are not good at the end, तो मतलब पिक्चर अभी बाकी है.
हमारे कल्चर में हमें सिखाया है कि it's not okay to make mistakes. It's not okay to fail.
Trying is so important. There's a harmony between what you want to do and what you are doing.
It's more about escapism, right?
Are you happy with yourself?
मैंने एक वॉइस नोट रिकॉर्ड किया अपने खाने के लिए.
लेकिन हम अपने आप तो जान गए ना. उससे बस वो फिर उससे बड़ा नशा कुछ नहीं है.
Do you think that happiness is overrated? Rajat, take us back to a moment in your life where everything on the surface looked fine, but inside you were quietly falling apart. What was going on?
I think I would go back in the last 3-4 years. So during that time, what was happening was I was at a leadership position in one of the companies, taking home good amount of money. Well, I was having a very efficient team to work with. I was getting promoted. I was getting appreciated for my work. I had a very good relation at work. Family wise, things were fine. Health wise, everything was okay. Money, career, I think everything was there. I bought a new home. I bought a new car. I mean, it was more like a golden era. But you know what? Every day when I go to sleep during those days, I would think that there's something missing, right? And so the life that I was living, it was a dream of so many people,
Yeah.
right? But I wasn't happy. And sometimes I would find that happiness in, in probably shooting a reel of my own, or reading a book of my own, or having a very relaxing Saturday when I'm going to a gym, I'm going to go walk, or I'm just sitting in, the beautiful park in my society and then listening to the birds chirping. I mean, I need that peace and the calmness, right?
But
So
वो
that's
life's
when
missing थी. वो
exactly.
life's a missing थी.
Yes, well, corporate life, because corporate life is, the hush, rush, quickly, deadlines, parallel working, multitasking, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये achieve, वो achieve. You are just running and you don't know behind what. It's like
Yeah.
playing a temple run.
Exactly.
आप खेलते जा रहे हो, you don't know what's the end, but you're just scoring more and more and more, and that's what you do in corporate life, right? You're earning, सिर्फ पैसा लेते जा रहे हो, and one day probably you will just die.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, those were the days when I think, nahi yaar, kuch missing hai. I need those breaks. And every 1 month, not even a month, and I would feel like that I need a break. I need a break. I think those were early signs of burnout. Those were early signs of I'm not living. I am, I'm a toy. Someone is just giving me directions and I'm doing that. Right? I'm not doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's when this self-realization comes up and you feel like, I mean, no, it's a no now. I want to take a break. I want to quit. I don't want this life. I need to search what I'm searching for. Right. And you know what? That's what even Gautam Buddha did.
Yeah.
He was searching for something. Actually, he was searching for himself. What is it that I want? Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to have a very peaceful morning, spend 1 hour on your own thing, do meditation, do yoga, sit in with nature, listen to the birds chirping, right? And then you are okay for the rest of the day. You're like, okay, next 8 to 10 hours, I am okay to go for this battle that I have to do. But then I'll wait for the next morning to come up.
Yeah.
So you need to really understand yourself. Actually, the true happiness of the definition of happiness is if you really know, there's a harmony between what you want to do and what you are doing.
What you do, right? Exactly.
The day you do that, then it's fine. Then it doesn't matter you are earning more or less. Then it doesn't matter whether you are going in a BMW or you're going in an auto rickshaw. Then it doesn't matter if you're living in a beautiful bungalow or a kacha pakka house.
Yeah.
You're living in a city or versus a village. When you're happy, you're like, okay, fine, this is exactly what I needed. And that's why people say, I want to go to the mountains and live there. I want to go to a small village and live there.
But still,
So
they even if they go there, they are not able to be happy even then.
yes, because somewhere the body needed that fast-paced city life,
Um,
and the mind needed this. And then you want, I was living a very luxurious life. I had peace there. But I think the day you realize this, that fine, yes, to me the peace is living in that village, waking up early morning, going into the fields, and probably doing this kind of a work. I mean, I want to be a kid again.
yeah,
You start doing it, you start loving it, you start living it, then you will never feel like. And I know so many people who have done that. They have
yeah,
been abroad, they come back to India, and they go to their hometowns and get settled there. And you will find suddenly then these people get a lot of ideas how I can, encash my experience,
mm,
bring it to my city, live with those old friends or families that you have been knowing, and let me take my village or town to that level.
yeah. ये
So
कॉर्पोरेट
you
में
do research,
कॉर्पोरेट
you
का
will find
सारा
so many
गेम
people.
ही यही है। आई थिंक एवरीबडी इज जस्ट बर्निंग इन द सेम हेल और
True.
हर कोई सिर्फ सुबह से शाम तक इसलिए जॉब कर रहा है क्योंकि
Yes.
उसको लगता है कि अगर मैं यहाँ से जाऊंगा तो कहाँ जाऊंगा मतलब और क्या मिलेगा मुझे यू नो मार्केट
Mm.
ऐसा है रिसेशन है जॉब नहीं
Yes.
है मार्केट में दे जस्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इट एंड पीपल आर नॉट विलिंग टू टेक रिस्क्स and
Right.
that is the I think that is the reason main reason that what they want to do, really want to do, they don't have courage to find that because they don't
Right.
want to lose what currently they have, you know.
And one thing that you just said, ki, they don't want to risk, but they are still taking that risk in that job every day. There is a
Exactly.
risk. You're not having a secure job these days. You're not a government
Absolutely.
employee, right?
Yeah.
There's a risk every day, and you know this. That
Yeah.
any day the company will ask me to leave if I won't perform, if the sales targets are not met, if there is a recession, if the company doesn't get funding. I mean, सबसे पहले मेरा ही गला कटेगा. वो
Right.
रिस्क तो अभी भी है. बट
Risk
द
तो अभी
ओनली
भी
थिंग
है,
इज वो जो
right?
कंफर्ट फैक्टर है ना, जो पता है कि फर्स्ट को सैलरी आएगी और ठीक है घर चलेगा. You don't want to work on that and say कि it's okay, let me hit and trial for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
90 दिन 100 दिन एक टारगेट बना के कि ठीक है करके तो देखता हूँ. ओके, लेट मी अर्न 50% ऑफ व्हाट आई बीन अर्निंग. अगर कर लिया तो मतलब आगे 3 4 6 महीने में भी कुछ खींच दूंगा. तो आई
Mm.
थिंक
Yeah.
that's some calculation, but even to do that you need that peace.
You need
You need
that
to
peace,
sit and
exactly.
you need
You
that relaxation
yeah,
or a break.
you need that moment of self-awareness जब आप कहीं पे रुक के कुछ सोचते हो कि ये क्या है. I remember
Exactly.
that when I was in my corporate days, I was like every day like things were happy. I mean superficially happy kind of.
Yes,
सब
yes.
कुछ ठीक था. पैसे भी आ रहे थे. लाइफ भी ठीक थी. एक जगह भी थी ऑफिस रोज जाने के लिए शाम को वापस आ जाओ. काम भी ठीक था. बट वो एक फुलफिलमेंट नहीं था. And
True.
then I realized that no more. Like I want to do something which I really want to do, which I'm really genius at. तो
Right.
वहां से फिर मेरा स्टार्ट हुआ जर्नी एंड देन आई थिंक इट वाज द बिगेस्ट आई थिंक द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट डिसीजन एंड द बेस्ट डिसीजन जो मैं कभी भी ले सकती थी अपनी लाइफ को बेटर करने के लिए चेंज करने के लिए तो ये बहुत लोग नहीं करते हैं एंड लेट्स गो बैक टू द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन लाइक आप क्या बिलीव करते थे हैप्पीनेस के बारे में जब आपको ये रियलाइजेशन हुआ
So, see, the thing is, है ना, first we need to be very clear about that.
या
We think the small pleasures is happiness. Yes, it is a part of it, but not actually. So, for example, the day the salary gets credited in your bank account, you're
या
happy.
फॉर
You
मोस्ट
love
ऑफ द
it,
पीपल
right?
दैट इज द हैप्पीएस्ट
Just, just
डे
for
या
those 5 or 10 minutes, the day you buy a new mobile phone, new clothes, you're happy for probably a day, 2 day, 1 week. That's it.
या
The day you buy a new car, you're happy for 6 months. You buy a new house, you're happy for a year. That's the maximum happiness. And that's actually not even the happiness, that's the pleasure. You meet an old friend, you talk to him for some minutes, and you laugh and you say, I was very happy today. That's not happiness. That's just a pleasure that you got. Or dopamine ka hit tha ek. You got it, and after some time you are
द
like back to
हार्मोनल
normal.
शिफ्ट
Yes, yes, true. Happiness is more about that even in these, probably you're living in the worst of the circumstances, you still don't have much money, you just still don't have you're not doing what you wanted to do, you still have the worst of the relations, you don't have much money, you have not achieved anything in life, but you are still contented and relaxed. अगर पैसा सब कुछ होता तो आज शायद अंबानी साहब इंडिया के सबसे बड़े, सबसे हैप्पी इंसान होते, पर ऐसा नहीं है। और कई बार आप देखेंगे एक रोड साइड पे समवन इज जस्ट सिटिंग देयर, उसके बाद शायद खाना भी नहीं है या उसको एक रोटी मिलती है, वो इतना खुश होकर वो छोटी सी फैमिली उसे खाने को खा रही होती है, यू फील लाइक यार मतलब मुझे बैगर ही बना दो बिकॉज आई वांट टू बी हैप्पी एट दिस मोमेंट, राइट? सो I think first of all, we need to understand what exactly is the happiness. Happiness is more about that even in the normal state, you feel okay, you feel relaxed, you feel fulfilled, you feel contented that things are going well. And then you have that belief that even in future, the things will go well. And and it's natural that there will be a bad timing coming in my life, but I have that energy, I have that conviction, I have that mindset that things will become better,
Yeah.
and I know I can sail through.
Yeah. But that's a journey, right? I mean, you don't
Yes.
start there. You can start with being curious that okay, something is not working well for me, तो अब
Yeah.
मुझे क्या करना चाहिए इसके बारे में, तो वहां से वो
बिल्कुल।
जर्नी स्टार्ट होती है। बट वहां तक आने के लिए जहां से हम स्टार्ट करते हैं और जहां पे हम जाते हैं लाइक ओके दिस इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन और हैप्पीनेस और जॉय, ये करके मुझे अच्छा लगता है, वो एक जर्नी होती है। और वो मुझे लगता है कि हमेशा एक स्ट्रेट लाइन नहीं होती है, इट्स ऑल लाइक रोलर
I
कोस्टर।
agree. Yes.
हम लोग
Yes.
एक और वो सीधी लाइन भी नहीं होती है, वो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जगह पे रुकेगी,
हाँ हाँ
यू नो
हाँ।
व्हाट आई मीन। तो वो वैसे आई थिंक काम करता है। आई एग्री विद व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, बट आई आल्सो बिलीव दैट इट डज नॉट हैव एनीथिंग टू डू विद मनी, बिकॉज बहुत पैसे होके भी लोग खुश होते हैं और बहुत
हाँ।
पैसे ना होके भी लोग खुश नहीं होते हैं। I mean, I have seen that
Yes.
that
Totally
people
agree.
are actually struggling with money, and then they think that uh, पैसे हो जाए तो सारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाए, राइट? और वो
Right.
अलग
Right.
बात है कि वो
Absolutely.
हैप्पीनेस
हाँ
उनका उनका पैटर्न ही नहीं है, तो पैसा भी
हाँ।
उनको हैप्पीनेस कॉज नहीं करता, लाइक वो पैटर्न चेंज नहीं होता जब तक वो कॉन्शियसली करते नहीं है। तो आई थिंक जैसे हम इंसान होते हैं वैसे ही वो पैसा उसको मल्टीप्लाई कर देता है। अगर हम अनहैप्पी इंसान है तो पैसा थोड़ा और मल्टीप्लाई कर देगा, और अगर हम हैप्पी इंसान है तो थोड़ा और मल्टीप्लाई कर देगा। आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट अबाउट योर इनर स्टेट ऑफ बीइंग कि हाउ हैप्पी यू कैन बी।
And Hina, more importantly, over the years, or probably every year, every 6 months, every 3 months, in fact, every day, your priority can change, right?
Yes.
When
Yeah.
you were born, that happiness was just in getting a toy, small toy, like as a
Exactly.
3, 4 year old child. बस
Yeah.
एक बैलून मिल जाए, एक टॉय मिल जाए, वो होता था। 7, 8 years पे आई थिंक कुछ खाने की आइटम हो, केक मिल जाए,
हाँ,
स्वीट्स मिल जाए, चॉकलेट्स मिल जाए।
right.
स्कूल में होके होता था कि फर्स्ट आ जाऊं, कोई मेडल मिल जाए। those were our dreams, those
Yeah.
that is something we wanted to achieve।
या
उसके
स्कूल की
बाद जॉब लग
अनएक्सपेक्टेड
जाए।
छुट्टी हो जाए।
हाँ हाँ, एग्जैक्टली। सिर्फ एक पीरियड, फ्री पीरियड वुड मेक अस सो मच हैप्पी, राइट? तो ये हर 2, 3 साल में, कुछ दिनों में, कुछ हफ्तों में चीजें बदलती हैं, एंड इट्स फाइन। देयर वॉज अ टाइम, आई थिंक आपकी लाइफ में भी होगा, मेरी लाइफ में भी होगा, जो ये सुन रहे हैं उनकी में भी होगा, व्हेन यू वांटेड टू गेट दैट जॉब, राइट? कि मेरी जॉब लग जाए, मेरा एक इनकम आना शुरू हो जाए, आई विल बी हैप्पी, एंड यू वर हैप्पी। द ओनली थिंग इज वी थिंक कि नाउ इट्स स्टेगनेंट, अब ये पैसा ही मेरा रीजन ऑफ हैप्पीनेस है, पर वो गलत।
वो
बिकॉज ओवर द एज, एज यू ग्रो अप, आपकी फैमिली एक्सपेंड होगी, यस यू नीड नाउ मोर मनी टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ एंड योर फैमिली, बट देन ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर मोर थिंग्स, मे बी फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक these days I want to spend time with my parents, they live in a different city. To
ओके।
me that happiness is once in a quarter when I go and meet them, right? To me that happiness is more about taking a holiday and going to the mountains.
वाह।
Those definitions are changing and it will keep changing. So
हम्म।
that's why I started with this.
I
It's all
know.
about being self-aware.
Yeah.
What exactly is it that I need?
Mm.
And once you achieve that, then the next thing, then the next thing. Being curious, being anxious is okay, but then again you have to live in that moment that, hey, I did this today. Let me enjoy this holiday. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम वो हॉलीडे पे जाके फिर हम सोच रहे होते हैं अब नेक्स्ट हॉलीडे,
कब
वो वाली
जाएंगे?
हॉलिडे
Yeah.
एंजॉय नहीं करेंगे,
Yeah.
नेक्स्ट हॉलिडे एंजॉय करेंगे।
इट्स
एंड
मोर
देन
अबाउट एस्केपिज्म, राइट? कि अगर लाइफ
एब्सोल्युटली
में कुछ अच्छा नहीं चल रहा होगा तो मुझे एक
हाँ,
वेकेशन चाहिए, जस्ट टू एस्केप
यस,
माय ओन रियलिटी,
ट्रू,
and then come back to that bottom line of being frustrated, being unhappy with my job, with my colleagues, having problem with people around me.
ट्रू। See, that is always there. But Hina, I was conducting one of the workshops once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that workshop was around happy relationships. And we had so many couples there. And they were like, talking about what are good things in their spouse, what aren't the good things, what frustrates them, and things like that. Finally, during that conversation, there was a time when I asked that, especially the women, I asked that, okay, how many of you think that your husband actually makes effort to keep you happy? Or,
Okay.
they make you happy? All the women raised their hands except for one. And this couple was sitting in the front seat, and they have been the most jovial couple in that group. And everyone was surprised that how come this lady has not raised, because that couple, they were like, really giving some fun statements, and I think they had the best chemistry in that whole group. So then I asked her, I said, I think my question was this, but you have not raised your hand. And she said something that struck with me for a long time. She said, my happiness is in my control, no one can take care of that.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
And it's not about my husband, even my father, even my mother, my siblings, my cousin, my friends, no one. If I am not happy, you cannot do anything to make me happy, and if I am happy, you cannot do anything to make me happy. But
Yeah.
ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत frustration and all that, but my typical level of that happiness that we talked about will remain that only.
Yeah.
So I think, coming to your answer, we need, when you are we so for example, we get stuck in a jam, right? And then we keep honking and we want people to move around, do things. That thing is not in your control. You cannot do that. You
Mm.
can just control yourself. So
Yeah.
it's okay, just wait and relax,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's all about that shifting the mindset. And once you
Shifting the
know
mindset.
yourself that it's okay यार, मतलब मुझे कोई इतना इंपॉर्टेंट ऐसे फ्लाइट तो नहीं लेनी, हाँ जब फ्लाइट लेनी होती है तो वो
तो थोड़ा
एंक्शियसनेस बढ़ती है,
पैनिक होना
otherwise keep
नॉर्मल है.
relaxed, right? Yes.
Yeah, right. So as you was talking about the couple thing, and I mean, I just want to know because you are a happiness coach and you are an expert in this field. तो मुझे लगता है कि आपके पास एक सीक्रेट कोड होगा आपकी वाइफ को हैप्पी रखने का. तो वो सीक्रेट कोड क्या है? जो लोग सुन रहे हैं शायद उनको उससे बहुत फायदा होगा.
I quit.
Oh, really?
So I always say, a happy wife or a happy boss, they are like God. आपने इतनी बार उनका नाम सुना है पर आपने कभी उनको देखा नहीं है. So
Wow, I love that. Okay. Okay.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Of course, see, I think it's all about, once you understand each other as a couple, right? You know what they need or what expectations. Problem husband wife में सबसे ज्यादा क्या होती है? They have a very high expectation from each other,
Yeah.
and usually it's the other way. You think कि तुम्हें समझना चाहिए मुझे क्या चाहिए, rather than कि मैं समझ रहा हूँ तुम्हें.
Mhm.
So the day you start having this kind of a adjustment with each other, that it's probably like, okay, let me also put equal effort to understand you, and having minimal expectations from your couple,
Yeah.
you will see that those couples are like probably the happiest
Yeah, but
ones.
there are very few of such couples. एक और चीज मैंने बहुत अच्छी कोट पढ़ी थी, मुझे नहीं पता वो किसकी कोट थी. It's like the secret of happy marriages to marry a person who's already happy. बिकॉज उनका वो बॉटम लाइन वही है, उनका ओरिजिनल स्टेट वही है. नॉर्मली क्या
Exactly.
होता है रिलेशनशिप्स में, लाइक स्पेशली मैरिजेस एंड इन मैन वुमेन रिलेशनशिप, जो भी गर्ल फ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड रिलेशनशिप भी होते हैं, दे लाइक हम अपने प्रॉब्लम्स लेकर आते हैं, हम बोलते हैं ओके दीज आर माय प्रॉब्लम्स, नाउ इट्स योर जॉब टू सॉल्व देम, राइट? मेक मी हैप्पी.
True.
So
Yes.
it's like, how can we impose our problems onto somebody who does not even know how to handle them? तो हमारी हैप्पीनेस की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम दूसरों को दे देते हैं.
बिल्कुल।
जिनको नहीं पता कि वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कैसे, तो दिस इज अ वेरी हाई एक्सपेक्टेशन, इन फैक्ट दिस इज अ वेरी अनरीजनेबल एक्सपेक्टेशन दैट ओके यू सॉल्व माय unhappiness problem.
So I'll say two things, Hina. One, again, the mistake here is having that expectation that it's like, I expect my wife to listen to me, understand that I am in trouble,
Yeah,
and then, do this, do that, take care of me, and all that stuff. So that's number one. I think once you know yourself, you even need not have that expectations from your spouse, right?
yeah.
Second thing, in most of these challenges that the couples are having, the only thing that is missing is that no one is ready to listen.
Mm.
Many times it's all about just listening, right? And from my own experience, I can tell you this, that to my wife, I thought it's like long time back, I made this point that I will never give a suggestion.
Mm.
Usually
Okay.
men feel like giving a suggestion, right? So she'll tell some problem and I'll be, "Arey, tum ye kyun nahi karti, tum wo kyun nahi karti?" But then I understand, nahi. The only thing she wants is someone should listen to me.
Listen, yeah.
So, for example, she has gone somewhere, she'll come back, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm for next 15 minutes, I'm sitting, you speak. She'll
Right.
speak her heart, and then she's okay.
Yeah.
मतलब वो problem शायद कोई है नहीं है. And I think the only art that as a husband we need to have is to pose that I'm listening to you, although there's something else going in your
Pause.
mind.
Yeah. So if in case you are not like if you are not actually listening, at least pause that you are listening. Just fake
True.
that.
But I think the school days have taught us that. That's exactly what we used to do in school, right? We were like, okay, I'm very attentive, I'm listening to you. And then you're dreaming about that, okay, I have a cricket match to play in the evening.
Yeah. Right. And I think as we're talking about relationships, and this is also about that people expect to be so much close to each other. तो उनकी
Yes.
अपनी कोई अलग से लाइफ नहीं है। तो जब आपकी अलग से लाइफ नहीं है और आप किसी और की लाइफ को अपनी लाइफ बना लेंगे या आप चाहेंगे कि दूसरा इंसान भी अपनी लाइफ को आपकी लाइफ के साथ कनेक्ट कर दे, तो उसमें एक सफोकेशन हो जाएगा और हैप्पीनेस विल बी लॉस्ट इन दैट।
I think that's exactly how we have been grown up seeing that.
या
And let me just take a example of few women in, especially in the Indian culture, because they do a lot of stuff for their in-laws, for their husbands, for their children, and they lose their identity.
या
I think and rather than blaming anyone else, I would say that even that women has to be blamed because probably that is how she has been coached or trained or she has seen her mother.
या
The only solution is to have that balance. I'm not saying that now you become very selfish and you say that, okay, I'm going to take care of myself. I'll be going to the kitty parties. I'll be going to, uh, I'm going for parties and I'll be going to mandir and I'll be doing only what I love. I think she needs to understand how this balance has to be created between her personal life, her own life, her professional life, or whatever she is doing. Yes, she needs to have some me time when where I mean she's doing what she loves doing.
या
Of course, equally she's spending that time that is needed for say the in-laws and spouse and children, and then she has to prioritize that out of them what is most important. Are my friends more important, or my family more important, or my work is more important? And once you have that very clearly in your mind, and probably you set that expectations with your spouse also, I think things, I'm not saying that they will fix completely, but at least things will not be that bad.
ओके या
and
एग्जैक्टली
and and it's easy said than done. I know it takes time to
टेक्स अ
evolve,
लॉट
but it
ऑफ
all starts with the self-realization first.
Yes, right. Rajat, were you a happy kid while growing up?
Oh yes, I was. I've been more or less patchwork, happy-go-lucky sort of a guy.
Okay, so how was your childhood? How happy were you?
No, it was very, very interesting. So let me tell you one, a scientific research that was done, which said that 50% of your happiness depends upon your genes, not the genes that you're wearing, but the
Yeah.
genes that you got from your parents,
Right.
right? So if your parents are, or even one of your parents, and you are getting inheriting some genes from him or her, there are chances that you will be ending up being happier.
Okay, yeah.
Luckily, even now that my parents are in their 70s, I see them more or less having a bit of fun,
Okay.
relaxed. they feel successful, they feel contented, they're okay with whatever they have done in life. And somewhere that has actually been in the genes, even with my sister, with me, and we are both of us were like always happy, never crying, never cribbing. We were like, okay, you're giving us one toy, we are fine with it. You are giving us 10 toys, we are fine with it. We scored 80%, we are okay with it. We scored 90%, we are okay with it. We scored 70%, we are like okay with it. TK will cry a bit, but then let's work hard. So, of course, life has its own ups and downs. We face many challenges, uh, but that was okay. But I mean, if you generally ask, I was a very happy-go-lucky sort of guy.
Yeah,
Very
and
notorious.
yeah, very notorious.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my next question is that ऐसा होता है कि हमें कुछ चाहिए होता है लाइफ में और हमसे हमें लगता है कि वो भी हमें हमें मिल जाएगा तो हम खुश हो जाएंगे और फिर जब वो मिल जाता है तो भी वो होता नहीं है पर्पस पूरा लाइक हम फिर भी हैप्पी नहीं होते आपकी
Right.
लाइफ में वो क्या था कोई एक मोमेंट जब यू थॉट दैट आई वांट दिस एंड यू वांट टू चेज दैट टू बी हैप्पी एंड व्हेन यू गॉट इट एंड देन यू स्टिल डिड नॉट गेट हैप्पी
I think the thing that I just talked about now, ki sometimes we think that those pleasures are our source of happiness.
या
जिस दिन मुझे वो प्रमोशन मिल जाएगी, जिस दिन मैं VP बन जाऊंगा, जिस दिन मैं लीडर बन जाऊंगा, जिस दिन मैं गाड़ी खरीद लूंगा, मतलब ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव गॉन थ्रू दैट जर्नी एज वेल. कॉलेज में एडमिशन हो जाएगी, वो गर्लफ्रेंड मिल जाएगी, पहली सैलरी मिल जाएगी, प्रमोशन हो जाएगी, अब्रॉड जाऊंगा, एंड लकीली आई हैव गॉट मोर और लेस एवरीथिंग इन दैट इन
या
लाइफ. So, but again, the thing is, as soon as you start achieving that, you realize ki nahi, this is not that I was looking forward to. There is something beyond this.
या
There's something beyond this. And recently, in the last 2, 3 years, the more I've started knowing myself, and I realized that these have never been the things that I wanted. There was something else that I need. I I need people to know me. So let's assume if I'm in the market and two people come and say that, hey, Rajat, yeah, we have seen your video or we know you, or I'm like, wow, okay, people know me, right? If someone just comes and say, ask for an autograph because I've been an author myself and they're like, I have read your book. I'm
या
like, okay, nice. I never knew that someone will at least, because he has read my book, he has probably not even seen my photograph, or there's a small photograph at the back of that book, but still they are able to recognize, maybe because of the videos now or social media handles and all that. So I feel happier that way
या
now. But let's assume we talk on the similar line 6 months down the line. Maybe I would be like, no, I don't want people to know me.
या
Now I want to be aloof, right? So things will change. And this keeps on happening, not only with me. I think it's a part of a journey. That's what life is all about. But it's all about knowing that, okay, at least for the next few days, next few months, this is what my target is, this is what my goal is, and this will make me happier. And then experimenting on that.
Right. Don't you think that happiness is overrated? It's like we want to feel a lot of emotions. It's just not happiness. And sometimes you don't actually want to feel happy. It happens with me a lot of times that I call this an emotion, which is, I don't know, I just felt it like that. It's a peaceful sadness, like where you sit with your sadness and you're peaceful about it. You don't want to change it. And I think that positive thinking and happiness ने कुछ तो किया है हमारे साथ कि हमें अपने इमोशंस को सप्रेस करना आ गया है तो जो भी इमोशंस आते हैं लाइक कभी कुछ भी एक नेगेटिव इमोशन जिसको सो कॉल्ड नेगेटिव इमोशन फॉर एग्जांपल सैडनेस या फॉर एग्जांपल कभी कोई गिल्ट आ जाता है लाइक ओके यू आर डूइंग थिंग्स द वे यू आर यू वांट एंड लोग अभी मैं गुड़गांव में थी कुछ महीने पहले एंड आई वाज लिविंग इन अ कॉर्पोरेट सेटअप और मैं सुबह को 9 o'clock पे आई वाज 10 o'clock पे मैं आराम से अपना मॉर्निंग रूटीन करके अपना ब्रेकफास्ट कर रही होती थी और ये लोग मैं देखती थी आसपास लोग के दे वर जस्ट रशिंग थ्रू द ऑफ टू द ऑफिस एंड स्टफ और वो इतनी देर तो ऐसे दे आर वर्किंग फॉर दिस सैलरी एंड आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग मच आई एम जस्ट एंजॉयिंग माय डे एंड doing things at my pace and still I'm making a lot of money and I can still have that kind of financial freedom kind of lifestyle तो कभी कभी वो एक गिल्ट आ जाता था कि ओके who am I here बिकॉज हमारी कंडीशनिंग तो हमें वो सिखाया है कि राइट just dim your life to make others comfortable kind of mentality तो कई बार हमें वो इमोशन फील करने होते ही हैं अदरवाइज वो इमोशन हमारे अंदर रहेंगे और किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में वो एक्सप्लोड होंगे, कभी किसी और पॉइंट पे या किसी डिसीज के फॉर्म में। तो आपको नहीं लगता कि हैप्पीनेस ओवररेटेड है एंड वी कांट बी हैप्पी ऑल द टाइम?
मैम आई से टू थिंग्स हियर। वन, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ओवररेटेड नहीं, हैप्पीनेस इज वेरी अंडररेटेड इन द सेंस, इफ यू आस्क 100 people, you know, what you want to be, right? आपको क्या चाहिए जिंदगी में? They'll say, I want to be happy. 90%, 80% of the people will definitely say, मैं सिर्फ खुश होना चाहता हूँ, right? And now if you ask that, okay, what are the 3 things you want to invest in? Or let's assume God comes to you and asks for 3 things. What is it that you will ask God? He will be like, I want promotion, I want popularity, I want money, I want villa, I want fashionable clothes and all that. And no one will say, I need happiness.
Yeah.
So there's a big disconnect there. And I'm not saying this, it has been researched also. So there are studies that have happened when people were questioned that, okay, what you want to be, they said that we want to be happy. And when the second question was asked, none of them actually marked the happiness was like the last, second, or third option that they ticked. So that is how there's a bit of a confusion with the people.
The thing that if I get that villa, if I get that car, if I get that job or promotion, I will be happy. Because
Exactly.
they're just connecting that with the object of their desire.
True, true. You are putting conditions to your happiness.
Yeah.
Whereas, what? So tell me something. What is it that monks have? Have you ever seen a monk riding a Ferrari or living in a villa and all that? They are just happy in that particular moment in whatever conditions. They got 1 roti, they are happy. They get 2 rotis, they are happy. They don't get food, they are like happy. Right? I'm not saying that we all needs to be the monks, but yes, we need to know ourselves first and what I need at the moment. If is having a good family, a healthy body, parents, a job, getting some money to live, and getting that exposure, having that experience. If I'm okay with it, let me enjoy this situation also. Yes, have some aspirations, work for that, but be grateful for what you already have. Enjoy that. I tell you something, I bought a new car 2 years ago, right? And that is something I've been like dreaming to buy from the last 3, 4 years. I bought it. And of course, the day I bought it, after a month or so, I was like, now I'm looking for the next big car because this is something I've already achieved. But then this my happiness coaching that I have taken from my mentors, then they actually helped me understand that, hey, you start enjoying the ride that you're taking that car every day. You first be thankful and happy about, because this is also something you have achieved. If you look around, I am asking you, if you look around, look at the laptop, look at the clothes, look at the mobile phone, the spectacles, the furniture, whatever, or the house you're living in. Someday it was your dream.
Yeah.
And you would have put a condition that the day I'll get it, I'll be happier.
Yeah.
A new cushion covers, right? It was like, okay, I'll go for a shopping today, I'll be happy. You bought it. But the next day, they are just one of the things because you've already achieved that, right? And similarly, the life will go beyond. Yeah. So I think happiness is underrated in the sense people don't understand the exact meaning of that. And then there are these conditions. And of course, there's a lot of confusion, and then there's a
lot of confusion. Yeah, I agree
benchmarking and the comparisons.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
It's also about comparison. Like people, this is, I think, the biggest reason of being unhappy. That we, whatever we are, in whatever position we are, whatever we are doing, whatever we have, we are just in the best, in the best phase of our journey right now. For example,
Yes.
yeah. So वो ये लाइफ हमने चूज की है, like this is the byproduct of what all choices we have made in the past.
Yes,
अब
exactly.
हम इस टाइम पे आए हैं, तो now if we connect that with gratitude and satisfaction, then happiness will definitely follow. Like it's just that how grateful you are in that moment, how satisfied you are with your life, and that leads to the kind of happiness that you have.
No, that's exactly one of the the keys of happiness, and this is something that I've mentioned in my book also.
Yeah.
And it has been talked about by most of the psychology professors or professors who talk about happiness and fulfillment and contentedness. And if they talk about two or three principles of the happiness, gratitude will always be one of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And that stands true for every person, living or dead, on this earth.
Yeah.
He could be a rich man or a poor man. He could be a businessman or a salaried guy. Once you have to be, you are showing that gratitude, that thank you, I got these things. Thank you, I am still having a well functional body.
Yeah.
And you said it very well. What we are today is actually the combination of the choices or the habits that we had in the recent past. And if we want to achieve something else, we probably have to tweak them a bit more, probably work a bit more harder,
Mhm.
change a few habits, look for our wellness first, or set our priorities, work for that, and you can achieve that probably in a month or in a year or in 5 years. Again, now that's where your efforts, your hard work, your destiny, your luck, your gratitude, and so many other things will come into picture. But at least you're moving in that line. And during that journey is what you experience happiness as it is. And
Yeah.
it's okay if you fail. It's okay if you fail, but
Yeah.
at least that journey is a happiness.
Yeah, also yes, that is also one of the big factors that हमारे कल्चर ने हमें सिखाया है कि it's not okay to make mistakes, it's not okay to fail.
Yes.
तो जब भी हमारे ऊपर वो प्रेशर होता है कि fear of rejection आ जाता है कि what if I fail? What if
Yeah.
people don't approve of me? What if this something wrong happens? I can't leave my job because or what if I don't get anything? So fear of failure, and then society will put that pressure on you that okay, why did you do that? What kind of? I remember that once upon a time, my family members, like my family, extended family, they used to say that she will never take her career seriously. She is good for nothing. She will never do anything. And this is something like where I was just hopping jobs on and on and on and on because on off, like I hopping on, hopping off, like every 6 months or every year, I would just because I was actually not feeling that satisfaction inside of me that this is not what I want. So then fail fast. One of my mentors says that
Yeah.
fail
Yeah.
fast. Like तो जब वो करके देख लिया इतने साल में कि अच्छा ये भी नहीं अच्छा लग रहा ये भी नहीं अच्छा लग रहा so it actually when you start making mistakes and when you start failing then you know that अच्छा ये नहीं करना था ये मुझे नहीं
हाँ,
करना
ये
था
बिल्कुल
ये मैं करना
बिल्कुल राइट.
चाहती थी मैं ये this is something that I don't want to do. I don't want to take that in my future with me. तो हमारी सोसाइटी हमें सिखाती है कि इट्स नॉट ओके टू मेक मिस्टेक्स इट्स नॉट ओके टू फेल जस्ट बी कंफर्टेबल बी सिक्योर बी सेफ डोंट टेक रिस्क तो वो हैप्पीनेस नहीं आता मतलब कोई वंडर नहीं है कोई सरप्राइज भी नहीं है कि हैप्पीनेस नहीं आता क्योंकि वो कर ही नहीं रहे हैं कि आपने जैसे शुरू में बोला किसी और का ड्रीम जी रहे हैं
Yeah.
your parents' dreams, the society's dreams, the people's dreams around us, who they are. हम लोग दूसरों का ड्रीम जीने में इतने बिजी हैं और दूसरों को खुश करने में इतने बिजी हैं कि हमारी खुशी ही इट्स जस्ट लॉस्ट
जिंदगी का सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग.
या आई लव दैट
Yeah. So see, the thing is, usually what happens is when once you are in your 20s, you believe that the world might not accept me, or
या
the world will say something about me,
करेक्ट
right? In your 40s or late 30s, you started realizing that actually the world is not even caring about me.
या nobody is thinking of me
Huh. And then in your 60s, you realize this that, oh my God, I've spent 40 years in understanding this, that the world never even cared. The way I was treating myself, the whole world was treating themselves that way.
करेक्ट
हम सभी को यही लग रहा था कि बाकी लोग मेरे बारे में सोच रहे हैं.
बस सब अपने
क्या
अपने बारे
आप
में
सोच रहे
सोचते
थे?
हैं
Right. So
yeah
that's where the challenge is.
yeah
And yeah, the problem is this only, that you want that acceptance to come from somewhere else.
yeah
So when we do this happiness workshops, especially at the workplaces now, and I've talked to so many people now, and that's exactly the mistake even I made, right? Problem was, so and when you were in your 10th and you have to choose a career, most of the time your parents or your friends, or I mean friends of your parents, would suggest you this, that
Mm.
For example, these days people say, hey, go for data analytics, hey,
Yeah.
go for digital marketing, hey, go for AI. Now, let's assume you are made to play a sports, right? And you are made to play kabaddi, let's assume, right? Now, someone is asking you to be an AI person.
Yeah.
There's no linkage.
Exactly.
Or even worse, hey, it's okay, you can be a sports person, but you go and play IPL, no? There's no money in kabaddi. You go and play IPL.
Yeah.
Now you will not be happy playing cricket, right? So, and once you will not be happy, you will never be giving your 100% to that. That means you, there are very rare chances that you will be one of the successful cricketers. Now, if you can win over your mind, that's a separate thing. But your true happiness comes in playing that kabaddi match,
Yeah.
right? Which is okay if that's not very popular or there's not much money, but let's do it. Let me do that. And it's okay. Let me achieve, let me fail, let me at least achieve what I want to, and then I can always take a next career and move ahead.
Yeah.
But abhi though, I don't want that grievance to happen after 20 years. I realized कि जब मेरी age थी तब तो मैं खेली कुछ नहीं और अब I have to go do business or I have to go work or I have to manage my family.
Right.
आपका वो टाइम भी दुख में निकला और ये भी निकल
ये
रहा
भी
है
दुख
सोचते
में
सोचते
निकल रहा है।
हैप्पीनेस तो
Right.
कभी मिलेगी.
Right. Rajat, happiness, like you are a happiness coach, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you the majority of the time? I think 80% of your life, 80% of your days. How happy you are?
I
How
think I would rate it somewhere around 8 out of 10.
okay, right.
Yeah.
What comes in the way of your happiness sometimes?
See, that's exactly what I said. So now I have some goals set for, say, next 3 months, right? And now you, of course, it's easier to make that goals and it's tougher to put that effort to achieve that, right? Setting those priorities and then there are distractions and then there are other responsibilities. So the only thing that happens is that once you don't achieve that, right? So that, at least to me at the moment, that comes in my way of happiness. And second, after all, I'm also a human being. And just like me, all these happiness coaches, psychology professors, we all understand emotions and we go through all these emotions every day. It's okay. We can have, headache, and that one day we will take rest. And then at the end of the day, we will feel bad. Hey, I didn't do this thing that I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
Right. And it's okay if we will have some tough conversations at home with the spouse.
Yeah.
It's okay if my kids don't listen to me. It's okay if I say that, to my parents that probably they are wrong. God will say, hey, Rajat, you are doing wrong. This happens with us. The only uh, art that we have now learned is how to come back to that normal
Yeah.
base,
Yeah.
right? And we know what exercises or tools or techniques are there that can help me come back to my normal state of happiness, which is like 8 out of 10.
Mhm. That's amazing. Yeah. So now I would like to ask you that
But one more thing, I actually wanted to say this earlier also, but I want to say now also. And most of the people, they don't do this.
Mhm.
Crying is so important for your happiness. You were talking about emotions some time back. I missed talking about this. People don't cry,
Hmm.
right? Even sitting in isolation, they don't cry. They keep so many things in their heart.
Mhm.
They don't share those emotions. And unfortunately, the next generation, which thinks that the world is, there's a fictitious world to them because they have friends whom they've never met, but yes, they are just chatting with them, right? They are friends whom they've
Online
never
friends.
talked,
Yeah.
online friends, and they think
Online
I have
friends,
a lot of
online
friends.
dating, online
Yes,
work, lots of
exactly.
online
And they
stuff.
think that those people understand me, but you being my father, you don't understand me. Those things happen. They don't share those things with them. And the more you keep these things with you, the more you are going away from the happiness.
Yeah, yeah.
Just think about it that once when we were very small children, right? We used to fight with our friends. And 15 minutes later, we'll be like hugging that guy, we'll be playing with that person, we'll be going on cycling, and we'll be doing everything. Right? But now we keep those emotions with us. How come my boss said this thing? इसको तो मैं देख लूंगा. अरे मेरे colleague ने ऐसा कैसे कह दिया? अरे उसने ऐसा कैसे कर दिया?
Yeah,
इसको तो मैं देख लूंगा. And then you think that the whole world is against you.
yeah.
And you keep those within you. You don't share those things. कि तुमने ऐसा क्यों कहा. I mean, sometimes you just need a bit of a clarification, right? And the things can be sorted out. But
Yeah.
we don't do that, and we keep everything inside. That's why one of the critical things we do in a workshop is we ask people to write. Just write, take out all your frustration against that person or that your manager, or against even the god or whatever it is. Just write it down and then tear it away. And you see people, they feel so relaxed just doing this activity.
Yeah.
It
Because
works
now
wonders.
that they're dumping all that on the paper and
Yes,
it's no
yes,
more
they are
like,
actually taking out that emotion.
yeah, yeah, right.
And it happens both ways. It's not only the negative emotions, even the positive emotions, like telling your parents that, hey, dad, I love you. I mom, I love you. We don't do that.
We don't do that, right?
But let's do that, right? I know they know that, and
Mm,
I know you also know it. There's no harm in telling them.
absolutely.
And believe me, those smileys won't work. You have to sometimes just call or
Yeah, be
meet
in
them or hug
person
them.
and
Yeah,
meet
exactly.
people, right? Yeah,
True.
that's
And you
really
just
cool.
sometimes you just need to tell that, hey, dad, thanks so much. You have done so much for me.
Yeah.
I am today what I am because you did this, you did that. He has done it. He knows that as a responsibility, he has done that. Now we are parents, we are doing for our children. But sometimes when you just say it, I mean, he feels so good that okay, at least he understands, right? He understands
Wow,
me.
I love that what
That's
you're
the
saying
learning.
right now because I can relate with that. I remember that I lost my dad to COVID in 2021. And before that, I remember that I was doing a kind of course, and that was a healing relationship with your parents because
Right.
that was something that I was going through. And there was an activity, and then according to the to that activity, मैंने एक voice note record किया अपने father के लिए, or of
Mhm.
course mom के लिए भी, but it was more for my father, and I said that because I have always misunderstood you, I have always judged you for things, so I just said thank you आपने यही किया, और जितनी आपको understanding थी
Yes.
about the parenting and about
Mhm.
you did your best, you did the best you could.
Yes,
And
exactly.
thank you for that. And my father used to be a very kind of like, he was not very emotionally expressive like most men.
Yeah.
तो कभी उन्होंने इसके बारे में नहीं नहीं कहा कुछ. But and the first time ever, like it was just I think uh, a little before he passed away. And I'm so happy that I could do it in his life because after that, I like once the person goes off, then we don't
Yeah.
know like हमने
Yeah.
अपना communicate नहीं किया अपना feeling.
Mhm.
तो जब वो हुआ and जब वो मैंने उनको मैसेज भेजा and I said that आप सुन रहे हैं मैसेज, मैंने उनको कॉल किया तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ. तो उनको तुम दिल से बोल रही हो या फिर तुमने ऐसे ही बोला. मैंने कहा आपको क्या लगता है. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं
Right.
मुझे लगता है कि तुम हाथ से ही बोल रही हो. तो मैंने कहा कि हाँ
Mhm.
वो एक्चुअली वो मेरे हाथ से ही आया था. And then
Right.
I was so happy. And then he spoke a lot about his journey, like, what all he went through when he was
Mhm.
actually playing that role of being a dad, responsible dad. And of course, it was not a very abundant childhood we had. So he actually had to struggle a lot of,
Yeah.
struggle through that period. तो ये जो आप बोल रहे हो like it's just and it gave so much happiness to him that at least my children are now acknowledging what I did. So he said कि हम ज़्यादा तो नहीं कर पाए. I said no, you have done a lot because when you are seeing that your children are doing good in their life and career and they are happy people, so of course you did your best. So yes, this is very important. I just want to share that story so that just go ahead and talk to your parents and tell them that how much you love them. It will make them so happy, and more than that, it will make you a lot happier.
On a very similar lines, of course, I mean, there's no one beyond parents, and it's okay to express that with your parents. But even at a workplace, right? Now, let's assume I, as a manager, I know that my team member has some medical challenges at home, medical problem at
Mhm.
home. Still, he's coming to some deliverable or some commitment at work. If I say, hey, buddy, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Among all these things, you have come because you understand your responsibility. You are there to support me. I trust you. Thank you. Just think, I mean, his connection with you will go at next level, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
this is exactly what we want to inculcate at the workplaces now. Appreciate what that another guy is doing. Of course, he might not be giving his 100%, but he's putting some efforts into the work.
Yeah.
And rest of the efforts he couldn't make because probably you have not trained him, or you have not even told him what exactly has to be done.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, in ChatGPT, we say, this AI is not good. Its problem is with you. You're not giving the right command.
Right
Similarly
instructions.
to your team members, sometimes you're not even telling them what exactly to do.
Yeah.
You just say, hey, I need this report. Give it to me. So
Yeah.
with whatever best knowledge he has done that report, right? And then we start shouting, hey, this is not in that format, this presentation not that clean, things this way, that thing, it's delayed and all that. I think every conversation should start with that appreciation. Hey, you did a fantastic job. Now, probably there are some areas of improvement, and I want this also and that also. And you will see that person will always say, yes, let me make these changes and give it to you, even if it's late in the night or even if it's a Sunday. They are always ready to put that effort if you are appreciating those efforts.
Yeah, appreciation is so important. Like appreciating, excuse me, appreciating what others are doing for us. It can be anywhere, like the delivery boys, the people who come and
Exactly.
help us in our
Yes.
day-to-day tasks, and the team that is working with us. So of course they may not be 100% right or matching the expectations we have from them, but go like the way they are helping us, they're supporting us. That says a lot about. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, I agree with you. That's a wonderful tip. This theme is about, like season three. I think we talked about it. That the season is about. It's a theme which says that every life is a movie, and you are the star of yours. If your life is a movie, which definitely it is, and you are the hero of that movie, how would you tell that story in 5, 6 lines about your life?
I would need 3 hours to tell a movie.
Okay, so if you just narrate your story in a few lines,
See,
what?
I would just tell this one story that uh, ups and downs are part of every story, right? And
Villains.
as my favorite star Shah Rukh Khan says, ki, if the things are not good at the end, iska matlab picture abhi baki hai.
Sorry
So
about.
if you are going through a tough time,
Yeah.
believe that something better is going to happen.
Yeah.
So let me tell you very, very clearly. In 2008, I got married, and it was an arranged marriage.
Okay.
The first day after my work, when I went to work, after my marriage, when I went to work, my company asked me to leave because recession was going on and I was in a travel company. I felt almost broken, and I had these thoughts in mind that what will happen to my marriage because I will not be earning. And it took me like 4, 5 months to get another job. But now that I think about that, actually, that time period, my wife was with me. She always supported me at that time. And that is actually the reason that we have a very strong relationship.
Wow.
Because that initial stage of that relationship, we went through that tough time together. And now there are good and better days. Of course, we are enjoying it.
Yeah, the
Right. So,
trust built up.
exactly.
Mm.
So, we say this that blessing in disguise, it was exactly that way.
Mm.
So similar things in 2018 happened, right? The company asked me to leave. I had a family to take care of, uh, a good lifestyle that I was leading. But then that time I was almost in depression, right? But one day I looked into the mirror and I said that, this guy there stand in the mirror is not Rajat Khatri, he's someone else, right? I need to find that guy, the happy child and the person with a smile, the person who use those one liners in every statement. I want to bring him back.
Mm.
I become conscious. I searched for Google about how to be happy, and then I realized that there are happiness coaches and there are professors and there's a psychology study and from some really good universities, and I did all those programs. More importantly, not only the coaching, but I practiced whatever was told to me. You won't believe it took me hardly 10 days, and I started feeling good by doing all those practices that a few of them I just talked about. So, see, when I saw that, okay, the things are working well for me, the person who was like almost 10 days ago, he was like almost broken to what I am today. I think that means these things work. And
Yeah,
it's all about playing with your mind. So let me
absolutely.
start guiding and coaching this to other people. If they want to listen, it's awesome. If they don't want to listen, it's their loss.
Yeah, it's a
Let me share
journey. We
that.
are
I
somewhere
think that's
at the
that's my story in a very simple way. And of
beautiful.
course, I think picture abhi baki hai. A lot has to be done. I
Exactly.
really want to, you know, share these experiences. If I could even make, 5, 10, 15, 20 people happier, nothing like it. I
Yeah.
think I've
That's
I've
why
done whatever.
happiness is so
That's
important to you.
true. It is
Yeah.
the first basic need.
Yeah. Right. Rajat, now just let us I want to ask for that expertise. Like if somebody's listening right now who's quietly miserable, वो बोल नहीं रहा किसी को कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. This is the normal corporate condition. Uh, and they're just going through that miserable period. They're not happy, but then everything on the surface looks okay, like better है बाकी चीजों से जो रिस्क ले सकते हैं अनकंफर्टेबल होके कुछ और कर सकते हैं तो वहां पे आप उनको क्या एडवाइस दोगे उनको कहाँ से शुरू करना चाहिए
See, I think the first thing I will always say is, try to know yourself. And the way you were saying that, fail fast. See, knowing your purpose of life, it's not easy. मतलब गीता में भी कहा गया है कि द पर्पस ऑफ योर लाइफ इज टू फाइंड द पर्पस ऑफ योर लाइफ.
yeah
जिस
I
दिन वो मिल गया ना, फिर तो आप कर ही लोगे.
very okay
और
right
वो पर्पस ना आपको इतनी इजीली नहीं मिलता. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई वॉन्ट पीपल टू बी हैप्पियर, बट हाउ? राइट, देर आर मेनी थिंग्स. एक है कि maybe I'll go to different schools and give this gyan to children, or I conduct a workshop at offices, or I can create videos, or I can write books.
yeah
There are many more things. Now, probably one day I'll say that, okay, let me write a book. Right? You will write one day, 2 day, third day, you're like, nah, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. It's okay, leave it. I know I'm not meant to write a book.
yeah
Second day, you will start shooting a video. You'll do it for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. Maybe you love shooting that video. Now you don't like the editing that video.
Hmm.
It's okay. Understand that, okay, I love standing in front of a camera and saying, let me outsource this work to someone else who can do editing for me, and then he can post it and he can manage my social media, because I don't want to get into that. So now at least you are aware that, what, I love talking and I can speak. I can speak in an empty room, or I can speak in front of 1,000 people. Then you search for those opportunities, right? So it's all about knowing yourself. So begin with what you want to do first. People say, I'm not happy at work because company ka culture acha nahi. It's of course that could be one of the things, but you're not happy because what you wanted to do, you wanted to play that kabaddi match, but you are doing something in
Or
AI.
stuck in
Like
that
you
corporate
mentioned
job
earlier.
that you hate doing
Yes. So you understand what you want to do. It's okay if you want to be a digital marketing. And I'm not saying leave the job day one, but at least start reading, start exploring, start doing some experiments over the weekends, late evening. 2-3 months, at least आपको पता चल जाएगा कि मैं कर भी सकता हूँ कि नहीं. Because grass is always greener on the other
on the
side.
other side
आपको
right
लगता है अरे मैं क्रिकेट खेलता ना बहुत बढ़िया होता. अब खेलोगे तो लगेगा नहीं नहीं यार क्रिकेट नहीं. I think I was okay in the job only.
Hmm.
You can't keep switching, right? I think it's all about knowing yourself. And it's okay now, maybe if you are, let's say, in late 30s and you can't play cricket now, do you really want to be a coach now? Can you guide other children? Because the mistake that you have done, you don't want others to have. And then maybe you can start your own academy. Somewhere you're still connected with your passion,
yeah
and those things can make you happier. So it's all about doing these experiments with yourself, failing fast. It's okay to write it down that, okay, I am okay with cooking. I am not okay with, delivering the products. It's okay to do running. Fitness related, when do we do workshops, every person has a different way of staying fit, and it's okay to do. कहीं पे ये नहीं लिखा हुआ कि सिर्फ रनिंग करके ही आप फिट रह सकते हो. पीपल जो जिम जाते हैं वो भी फिट रहते हैं, कोई योगा करते हैं वो भी फिट रहते हैं, और कोई सिर्फ हंस के फिट रहते हैं.
exactly
ना वो तो देखो ना, you need to just know yourself first.
yeah
So my only suggestion is spend time with yourself.
yeah
सारी दुनिया छोड़ो,
yeah
ऑनलाइन छोड़ो, रिश्तेदार दुनिया ये सब कुछ छोड़ो. अपने आप दिन में अगर 5 7 10 मिनट भी स्पेंड करना शुरू करोगे ना, यू विल गेट सो मेनी आंसर्स, यू विल गेट सो मच ऑफ अ क्लैरिटी. एंड देन वंस यू स्टार्ट वॉकिंग इन दैट area, so new avenues, no doors, new routes will will keep appearing.
राइट इट्स जस्ट लाइक एक गाड़ी चला रहे हो तो पूरा रास्ता दिखे इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं
बिल्कुल।
अगर
हाँ,
छोटा सा
आपको यहाँ बैठे थोड़ी ना दिख जाएगा कि
हाँ क्या
मैं
बहुत
नैनीताल
आगे
कैसा
क्या
दिखता
है
है, आपको तो
एग्जैक्टली
100 मीटर्स ही देखना है अभी।
राइट एग्जैक्टली सो 50 100 मीटर्स देखो जितना दिख रहा है उतना करो एंड जस्ट एंजॉय योर
बिल्कुल। यस यस यस।
Right. I love that. And it's basically also about अपने आप को दूसरों से कंपेयर करना बंद करो क्योंकि हम हमें हमेशा कंपेयर किया गया है सोसाइटी ऐसी है हमारी के
यस।
आप उसके जैसा बनना है आपको उसकी तरह दिखना है या आपको उसकी तरह करियर में सक्सेसफुल होना है आपको किसी की तरह नहीं बनना आपको किसी की तरह फर्स्ट नहीं आना आपको सिर्फ अपनी तरह अपना बेटर वर्जन बनना है और
True.
एक लिस्ट बना के कि आपको क्या क्या व्हाट मेक्स यू हैप्पी and then start doing all that more often I think and it has to be your profession it doesn't have to be your profession it's like आपकी लिस्ट में क्या क्या है for example मुझे I like to sing I like to dance so वो मैं मेरा प्रोफेशन नहीं obviously but I
Yeah.
would still do that you know I would make time for all that I do it उसका किसी कोई प्रोफेशनल सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं है I love languages तो उसको मेरे करियर में यूज नहीं होगा एंड आई हैव सीन पीपल हैव सेड टू मी दैट व्हाई डोंट यू यूज डू समथिंग इन दैट आई सेड व्हाट ऑल आई कैन डू लाइक यू नो if you have so many things that you are good at or you love to do then कितनी चीजें हम कर लेंगे so we have to choose something like at least you know
True.
this is my profession this is what all I do तो this is very important कि जो जो अच्छा लगता है आपको करना वो आप करना शुरू करिए at least
Once you start doing these things that you love doing,
yeah
and it's okay if that's not profession, that's okay if that's not giving you money,
yeah
you will suddenly feel good in rest of your day as well. And that job that you were not loving, that company that you were not loving, you will suddenly see you will start liking it and you becoming more productive because you're happier now.
yeah बिल्कुल
So actually you need to manage those rest of the hours. तो वो
right
कंपनी को और colleagues को और वर्क को तो गालियां बाद में देना,
हाँ
अपने आप को समझ के once you start doing these things ना, life will change.
राइट एंड आप अपने जॉब को अपनी लाइफ बना रहे
हाँ, जॉब को हमने लाइफ बना लिया है अपना, ऐसा नहीं है। तो आई वाज अबाउट टू से दिस, most of the things now we have given a wrong metrics. So for example, I say I want to be fit. ठीक है, अब फिट का क्या सक्सेस मैट्रिक्स है? ठीक है, मैं अपना वेट लूज करूँ, ठीक है,
राइट
वेट लूज probably yes somewhere, but it's not exactly the metrics. What if I am already 50 kg? तो वेट लूज करके तो मैं और बीमार होऊंगा ना, फिटनेस थोड़ी ना आएगा,
राइट
राइट? तो इट्स नॉट द वेट, वो तो एक वैसे बेंचमार्क हमने बना दिया कि चलो यार, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग ओबीस होते हैं तो आप कहते हो कि पहले आप अपना वेट कम कर लो। इसी तरह हैप्पीनेस का ट्रैकिंग शायद कुछ नहीं है, तो हमने कहा कि ठीक है, जिसके पास ज्यादा नेटवर्थ है वो ज्यादा हैप्पी है। अब फिर वो कंपैरिजन शुरू कि अच्छा उसके पास घर है मेरे पास नहीं है, उसके पास एक गाड़ी है मेरे पास नहीं है, वो बढ़िया 5 स्टार में खाना खाता है मैं तो नॉर्मल में खाना खाता हूँ, एंड देन वी थिंक ओ आई एम doing what you love doing, you are successful and you are happy. Once you are happy, you are successful.
Exactly. I
So,
totally agree with that. Yeah. Right. So Rajat, talk a bit about your book and also tell us how people can follow your work, how they can connect with you.
about my book, I have written this book called 10 Keys to Attain Happiness, and it's backed by data-based research. So it's not like a typical self-help book. I have written about the researches that have happened in some leading universities like Harvard, Stanford, Yale, because there are so many people who are now studying this. They are studying the human psychology. They are trying to understand that, okay, how can you be more happier? How can you live longer? How can you be healthy and all that? And you will see that there are so many people now on YouTube talking about these. There's a Netflix series called Live to 100. They talk about how come there are blue zones in the world where people are living for 100 years,
Mhm.
right? And then they did that research with so many people, and then they come to a conclusion that this is the reason why they live long, why people are happy, why they are healthy, and all those things. So that's from based on that research, I've written that book. It was an Amazon bestseller, and yeah, every month a lot of copies get sold. I
Oh,
keep
right.
earning through that as well.
Nice.
I might be coming with yet another book, but probably next year. Uh, thought a lot about what it will be around. Not exactly happiness, but about life and all that. Because now I start l- creating content. So I'm on Instagram. People can search for Happier Life with Rajat. I keep posting reels around happiness at a workplace, happiness in life, motivation, productivity, leadership, and things like that. They can search me on LinkedIn. Rajat Khatri underscore HLA is my handle name there. Again, there I write a lot of things about how to be happier at workplaces, because I think there people need to understand more
Yes.
about that. Of course, I'm available on Facebook. I'm there on YouTube. So you keep searching Rajat Khatri, more or less you will find my channel there as
LinkedIn
well.
too. We are connected on LinkedIn.
Yes, true. On LinkedIn too.
Yeah, right. Any last message you would like to give to the audience? What should they do to instantly start being happy?
Smile and be happy right at this moment. That's the only message that I need. Uh, the message that I want to give is that, there are things which are beyond your control. So don't worry about that, right? The weather, the politics, the who will win the IPL. You cannot do that.
Recession, the job market.
You can't manage the stock market.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Yes, you can worry about a few things, probably your job, your relations, your wealth, your happiness, your health. Worry about them. And by just worrying, you won't be able to make changes. You have to do something to
Some
cure that.
action you need to take.
Do those experiments, fail fast, develop some new habits, and make it a habit. And start talking to yourself, start knowing yourself. जिस दिन आप अपने आप को जान गए ना, उस दिन बस वो फिर उससे बड़ा नशा कुछ नहीं है. I'll just say this.
I agree with you.
I
I
have
can
been
relate with
through
that.
all these things where I used to worry about what people will say, where I did a lot of comparisons, where I had bad health, was overweight, I used to drink, I was in a bad company, but I've come out of that and I'm blessed I could do that because of just this self-awareness. And I love what I do now.
That's amazing. That's the biggest
Yeah,
thing. That is the best thing, in fact.
yeah,
Do
true.
what you love, and then you will start doing everything that you do.
Yeah, exactly. True.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Rajat. And it was a very meaningful, insightful, happy conversation. I wish you all the best for everything that you do for your next book. And please connect with Rajat on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and buy his book. I'm sure that your life will change, will be much, much more happier.
Thank you so much, Hina, for having me. I just love the conversation that we had. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and keep listening to all other episodes from Hina and stay happy. Take care.